Welcome to the Natural Health and Healing Show with one of New England's leading nutritionists, Mark Mincone. The show is brought to you by the Good Health Stores in Hanover and Quincy. Call Mark at 781-837-4900 with your health and nutrition questions. Now, here's Mark.
Good evening and welcome. You know, this coming January 9th, Saturday evening, not too far away, the South Shore's second annual Healthy Living Recognition Awards, and of course Candida Mamet puts all that together, works very, very hard, and this year is going to be an extra special event. It'll be, of course, at the Lantana in Randolph, and again, it's this coming Saturday, January 9th, but the reason for this year's event being so extra special is the presenter and featured speaker will be Dr. Bernie Siegel. And, of course, a couple weeks back we were supposed to have Bernie on the show, but the weather didn't permit that to happen. It seems like these weekends just have something to say about our plans. They just seem to want to snow on our plans, but we didn't let it stop us this Sunday evening. Bernie will be on in just a few short minutes. Dr. Bernie Siegel, who prefers, of course, to be called Bernie, not Dr. Siegel, was born in Brooklyn, New York. He attended Colgate University and Cornell University Medical College. He holds membership in 2 scholastic honor societies, Phi Beta Kappa, Alpha Omega Alpha, and graduated with honors. His surgical training took place at Yale New Haven Hospital, West Haven Veterans Hospital, and the Children's Hospital of Pittsburgh. He retired from practice as an assistant clinical professor of surgery at Yale of General and Pediatric Surgery in 1989 to speak to patients and their caregivers. In 1978, he originated Exceptional Cancer Patients, a specific form of individual and group therapy utilizing patients' drawings, dreams, images, and feelings. Exceptional Cancer Patients is based on carefrontation, a safe, loving, therapeutic confrontation which facilitates personal lifestyle changes, personal empowerment, and healing of the individual's life. The physical, spiritual, and psychological benefits which followed led to his desire to make everyone aware of his or her healing potential. He realized exceptional behavior is what we are all capable of. Bernie, of course, a wonderful author. Love, Medicine, and Miracles was first published in 1986. In 1989, Peace, Love, and Healing. 1993, How to Live Between Office Visits. 1998, he published Prescriptions for Living. 2003, Help Me to Heal. And 365 Prescriptions for the Soul. In 2004, a children's book about how difficulties can become blessings called Smudge Bunny. In 2006, Love, Magic, and Mud Pies. Published in 2008, Buddy's Candle. A remarkable man, and he is certainly more than welcome. We're very, very proud to have had him on this broadcast a number of different occasions, and we have him back this evening. And in just a few short minutes, we'll once again be graced with the wonderful wisdom and inspiration of Dr. Bernie Siegel. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Hi, this is Laura from Good Health, proud sponsor of the Natural Health and Healing Show. Cold and flu season is upon us, and we have all the natural remedies you and your family need. Effective vitamins, herbs, homeopathics, and natural nasal sprays to protect you from germs and viruses. All our wholesome products are available at our everyday low prices. Come by and see us in Quincy Center or Route 53 in Hanover. Visit goodhealthnaturalfood.com. Good Health, the intelligent choice for everything healthful and economical.
Right in our area, we are fortunate to have one of the top martial arts schools in the country. Personal Best Karate. Personal Best has been recognized for their community involvement, professional staff development, character-building programs, and exciting educational curriculum. Personal Best stands at the top of their industry. 5 locations offering personalized professional instruction. Not sure if karate is right for you? At no obligation, the staff at Personal Best will guide you in a private introductory program to see if karate is indeed the right fit to help you achieve your goals and meet your needs. What does karate at Personal Best teach you? Character building, success habits, helps you get in shape, relieve stress, self-control, setting goals, and of course, self-defense. Personal Best's goal is to create successful, contributing members of society through the practice of the martial arts at Personal Best. Mr. Chris Rappold is, of course, the founder of Personal Best Karate. He tells me his greatest joy of all is to see the personal transformation in each and every student. Bring out your best with Personal Best Karate. Telephone number 508-285-5425. That's 508-285-5425. Locations in Norton, Foxborough, Southeastern, Franklin, and Taunton. That's Personal Best Karate. Alrighty, welcome back, and welcome Dr. Bernie Siegel, or Bernie, I should just say, huh? Welcome.
Thank you.
Great to have you back on board, and I trust you're looking forward to Saturday, January 9th at the Lantana in Randolph.
Yes.
And we're looking forward to seeing you as well.
Okay.
I wanted to ask you a question. I know since you've been on the program, Buddy's Candle has been released. Talk to us a little bit about that book.
Well, we all have to deal with loss, and Buddy's Candle, the theme of it helped me many years ago. My dad died. Let me give you an example in the sense that I was thinking of wearing black for the rest of my life to remind me I'm going to die and therefore enjoy living. And when one of our dogs died, I was building a monument, and each morning I'd pick up a rock, carry it over, and, add it. And then one morning, it was like I heard the dog say to me, "Why don't you bring me a flower? Stop looking for rocks." And it just changed my whole concept. So I'd get up in the morning and look for something pretty to bring and leave at his gravesite rather than another stone. And I think this, in a sense, is what the book is about, that, we can grieve, and grief is appropriate. I don't mean you should never grieve, but when it takes over your life, it ruins your life. And what would your loved one want you to do? Go on crying and grieving, or enjoy the day? And I think that's you might say the punchline of the book. If your loved one was carrying a candle in heaven, and you walked over and said, "Look, your candle's out, let me light it for you." And the response was, "They do, but your tears keep putting it out." And that's what helped me let go and get back to living again.
That's beautiful. I also would love to hear you speak a little bit about carefrontation.
Yeah. Well, let me, one other thought, don't let me forget that popped into my head. You see, the other thing that's kept me doing this for 30 years is that when people literally learn that they're mortal, you have a few months to live, you might have a year to live, and again, they start living the life they really wanted, not what was imposed on them. Because think about Monday morning, you have more heart attacks, strokes, suicides, and illnesses. Your body's doing you a favor. See, you hate your life, you hate your job, fine. We'll end up in the hospital or dead, and then you don't have to go to work anymore. So your body is interpreting messages, and what I saw was that when people accepted their mortality, and now I call it, in a sense, rebirthing yourself, being born again, whatever term you want to use, but it's rebirthing in the sense of creating a new life. And then a few months later, well, here's the quote from a letter. "I didn't die, now I'm so busy I'm killing myself. Help, where do I go from here?" And those are the kinds of things I've seen happen. So, again, I can't make you immortal, but I can help you to live a longer, happier, and healthier life, because your body loves you, but it needs to know you love your life. Now, the carefrontation was, to stop people from being victims, because there are a lot of so-called support groups where everybody comes and complains. I have the worst disease, the worst spouse, the worst job, the worst this, and everybody goes home and say, "Yeah, me too." So what is accomplished? But when people would come in and, if you're a United States Marine, you're told, don't whine or make excuses. Do the difficult right over the easy wrong. So those are survival mechanisms. And so when people would come in whining and complaining, I'd interrupt them. And literally, this is one of the things, if a woman's sitting there telling me I got the worst husband in the world, I end up with breast cancer, he's a rotten man. I said, wait a minute. I have a mafia friend, Carmine. Tell me where your husband works. Within a week, you will not have a husband, and there's no charge for members of the support group. And then they look at you, and they realize, yeah, I have power. Yeah, one woman who was in real estate with her husband, all these memories are coming back. I mean, she was great in the office. At home, she's always complaining. I don't like what you're wearing. Dinner's terrible. What? And I said to her, look, next time he comes, home and says, what's for dinner, say, I never do it right, so I didn't make it tonight to upset you. And show him what you are doing and let him begin to respect that rather than complaining about everything. And so, again, it's to empower women and men, but also to let them know that I will confront them. I will not let them be a victim, that they have choices. And sometimes, I'll tell them, use love as a weapon. People driving you crazy, say, I love you. Then they don't know what to do with you. But what I also say, and my friend Carmine talks about how do you eliminate problems. If it's threatening your life, then get out of there. Meaning, not I'll make this marriage work if it kills me, or a job that's killing you. Quit. Get out of there, or tell the other person to leave. But if it isn't threatening your health, then I always say bring love into it and see what you can accomplish.
Right.
And it's amazing, what does happen in families when somebody is willing to be loving and change things.
Well, and, you were so far ahead of the curve with regards to the mind-body connection.
Mm-hmm.
We have neuroscience now telling us that our thoughts produce matching chemistries.
Right.
So I always tell people to lie to yourself until it's not a lie anymore.
Well, I was on all the famous talk shows, and and other doctors would say, you're blaming your patients. What do you mean? Well, you asked them, what happened last year during your life? So you're blaming them for getting sick. See, now we have studies that shows happiness, laughter. Cancer patients who laugh and are happy live longer. That loneliness affects the genes that control the immune system. So, again, suddenly, see, I'm scientific now. It's okay to say to somebody what's going on in your life. Because if a loved one died, you moved across the country, whatever. That can make you vulnerable. But the point I keep repeating is, I'm not blaming you. I'm asking you what factors may participate. And that's what led me into realizing how important it was for people to grow up with love. Because if you grow up with love, to get back, in a sense, to confrontation, that as soon as you confront somebody, they'd say, oh, I'm doing it wrong. I didn't love enough. I didn't read the right book. I didn't visualize. No, I didn't say that. But that's what they get because that's what they grew up with, you see. But if you grow up with love, you're not afraid to participate in something. It's not about guilt, shame, and blame. It's how can I take responsibility? How can I participate in my health and my life? And literally, again, the statistics show that if you're loved as a child, in other words, if you felt love, the likelihood of you having a major illness by the time you're in midlife is about 1 out of 4 in one study. But if you said they didn't love me, 98% had suffered a major illness. And if anybody doesn't believe this, go down to your local assisted living facility and walk in and say to all the residents there, did your parents love you? And 95% of the hands will go up, yes, they love me. And that's why they're still alive, because they have appreciation, self-respect, and they're not self-destructive.
So, Bernie, for those of us who grow up with this incredibly damaging negativity, what is it? How do we shed our skin? How do we change that?
Well, I call it being reparented. I mean, you can reparent yourself, as crazy as that may sound.
No, it doesn't.
But what I mean by that really is that you abandon the past and realize you are a divine child, even get your baby pictures out, put them where you live and work, and learn to respect yourself. If it doesn't work, then it can be harder to find someone who loves you. Now, that can be a school teacher, it can be a neighbor, it can be a doctor, a member of the clergy. You know, yeah, if you had a grandparent, they're more likely to be unconditionally loving. So I've learned this, too. I mean, I got the label CD from a suicidal young lady, and I said, what do you mean I'm a CD? She said, you're my chosen dad. So there are kids alive today because I said, I love you. I mean, I didn't say I liked what you're doing, but I love you. And when I persisted in it, and that's how doctors, teachers, and so forth can make a difference, that you don't reject the person. You know, get out of my class. Don't come back to my office. God is punishing you. But when you say, no, God loves you. I love you. Let me see you in 2 weeks, even though they're not doing anything. Or the teacher who sits down and lets you know you're not a failure. And they persist. See, that's important because when people are used to rejection, they test you to see if you'll reject them too.
Right.
And when you don't, for 3 months or 6 months, they begin to realize I must be worth something. And then they begin to care for themselves. But the opposite of love, you have to understand, is not fear. It's indifference. And worse is rejection and abuse. And that's why you read the headlines, you know, go to school, go to the gym, go wherever with a gun, kill a few people, and then commit suicide.
Right.
And again, I think a sense of revenge against those who have made you feel that rejection. But it comes more, as I say, from the parents.